Good morning, friends. I'm so glad you're with me today at this end of June video. So I'm going to show you what the garden looks like at the end of June, show you a couple of my favorite bloomers right now, flowers that are blooming. But our main focus today is on the 3 things that you should be adding to your garden for structure. Now, you have told me in the past that you struggle with this and you're wanting ideas. So let me show you some of the things that I've added to my garden to give it more of that elevated look. And you're going to want to stay to the end because we are going to style the deck. And a lot of you ask me, where do you get your inspiration from, Michelle? Well, I just bought a new coffee table book that you may want to add to your library, so you're going to want to see that too. Now, if you're wondering where we're at, we are in Illinois in Garden Zone 5. So let's get going today. And before we get started, hey, hit that like button if you like this video. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. It really helps the channel. So let's get going. Our first category of the 3 options to add to your garden to give it that charm, that structure, is going to be seating. Now, seating can be actual functional seating or it can be for decorative purposes. In this case, this chair could be set on, but I have structured it right next to the David Austin arbor. So the roses are hanging over, looking really pretty on the seating, tucked in next to the concrete urn. So not probably going to set on that, but that's one thing. Think about little chairs you pick up when you're out shopping that maybe have a unique design, unique shape. Maybe you have no intention of ever setting in it, but it would look great tucked into the garden. Little table and chairs, something small. It could be lightweight, it could be cast iron. Drape a pretty scarf on it as a tablecloth, cut some flowers, put a bouquet together, and you have a beautiful place to have a cup of coffee. And of course, it does that double duty of just looking beautiful in the garden. So another seating option here is a little settee and end table. And again, this could be moved around. Now that is a little bit bigger, so it could be set on, but also very beautiful just to use as decor. Another option is a full-size garden bench. Now, of course, these come in all colors, all different styles, all different wood tones. So you have to decide what you're wanting in your garden, where you're going to place it in your garden. In my case, I wanted something in front of the green arborvitaes. So I chose an English-inspired bench, very pretty and white, because I wanted that contrast against the green of the living hedge. If I would have went with a wood tone, or if I would have went with maybe like a black, it would have blended in. So you need to decide, do you want it as a focal point, or do you want it just to blend in with your other greenery? But there are all different kinds of seating options out there. So do some shopping and find something that you can add to your garden this summer. Now, our second category is statuary. Statuary is going to give you that charm, that character in your garden. Definitely going to give you that European feel. You see a lot of garden statuary in European gardens. And so the little girl is a vintage find and got her tucked in there in the flowers. Now you can go vintage, you can buy them brand new. Estate type. Hayden Stone has some beautiful statuary. There's places online that sell statuary. There's local places, garden centers you can go to for statuary. I get asked a lot about my lady statue. Now, she was a find probably about a decade ago at a store. So she's made of resin, so she's lightweight. This last year, I did leave her out all winter long. Normally, I do put her away here in Zone 5. She did fairly well being left out, and I enjoyed having her out in the garden in the winter time just to give the garden something to look at when there was no plants. So if you're wanting to add that character to your garden, be shopping for statuary. And keep in mind, it does not always have to be a focal point. Statuary is beautiful tucked into places that as you're walking through your garden, you come across, or as your guest is walking through the garden, they find. So in the case like here, I have the 2 hydrangeas and the begonia, and look what's tucked in behind there, a stone little rabbit. Now you wouldn't see him until you're actually walking through my garden. Another option is the stone column. This is doing double duty. We can put the plants up against it to kind of keep them upright. That's helping that peony stay upright, but it's also some beautiful architecture in the garden. I can leave out in the wintertime. When the plant goes away, I still have some structure out in the garden. So those are nice to tuck in to do double duty. You use them for beautiful architectural interest, but also they make great plant prop-ups too. Now on this side of the garden, you may have went shopping with me when I picked her up. I found her at a vintage store. She had her pedestal with her, and we've got her tucked back here next to a full-grown lilac. We've got champagne wishes rose in front of her, a little quick fire hydrangea that is just starting to open it up, just beautiful. And of course our lion vintage wall decor on the fence. So they tie in nice together. Both of them have that brown tone in them, and she is something that's not real prominent. You're not going to see her when you're across on the other side of my garden, but when you're walking in, it gives you interest, especially when things aren't in bloom. So when the hydrangeas weren't in bloom the last 2 months, or when the roses aren't in bloom, you have something else in your garden that's going to add some structure to it. So be on the lookout to add something unique to your garden this summer that'll give you more of that elevated character that you are going for, to give you that European inspired look, but it also adds charm to the garden too. So we've talked about seating, we've talked about statuary. Okay, so what is that third thing? That third thing is tutors. And what is a tutor? A tutor is a pyramid trellis. So this black one right here, John made this for me. He actually made 2 of them for me. And I got inspired to want one of these out in the garden, or I should say a couple of them out in the garden, when I first seen them a few years ago in a David Austin rose catalog. I just loved the picture and thought I need something like that in the garden. So you can customize these if you DIY it and decide to make it yourself. Any height that you want. In our case, I thought 8 foot would be good. It's made out of wooden 1x2s, and then I chose to paint mine black. So originally that had a rose on it. I took the rose off and instead last year added this clematis. Now I took you shopping with me to Hornbaker's Garden Center last year when we got this, and look at this beautiful clematis. It's got some green tinge on the leaves, and there's a new one that's just starting to open up. Just really pretty. And keep in mind, this is only its first actual year because I put it in the ground last summer. So it's its first year on here, and I just really like how the white and the black go together, giving me that formal garden feel. But I had this beautiful Perfume Breeze little pink rose that gets little tiny roses all over it. Just started opening. Now it's pretty vigorous and it has long shoots on it. So I did put up an iron trellis, a wall trellis for it to climb on, but I did put it near the tutor because I thought, wouldn't that be pretty if it climbs through the tutor also? And sure enough, that's what it's starting to do. So we have a whole long arm here of beautiful buds all over it. Look how many are on that. So having that pink little rose with the clematis is going to be so pretty. So you definitely need to think about a tutor, and you can check out YouTube, and there's lots of tutorials on how to make your own. I've also seen these on Etsy, or you probably could go on maybe Facebook Marketplace. Any woodworker could probably put something like this together for you, and the designs are endless. It's pretty much however you want it to look. You can customize it. I've also seen them in metal too, so I'll see if I can find some and link them for you below. And like I said, I have 2 of those in this garden, so I put the other one on the opposite side, parallel to the garden, so they mimic each other. And one thing I do like to do is leave them out all year long, because all of my greenery, of course, here in Illinois dies back, all the flowers. I still have my arborvitaes and my boxwood, but other than that, it's pretty, in the wintertime, pretty bland out here in the garden. So I like having those tutors out here just for garden winter interest. And I think they look really good with the garden house with those black shutters. So those would be the 3 things I would highly recommend you add to your garden this year. If you're wanting to elevate your garden, you're wanting that character, you're wanting that style and that charm. So now let me show you close-ups of a few of the things I am really liking here at the end of June for the flowering plants. I'm really happy with the window boxes this year. The window boxes have ivy geranium in the front ones, boxwood, some variegated ivy. On the side, it's the same thing, except I did a lavender plant in each one, which is doing really well. But I'm really happy how the ivy geranium is continually blooming. I was a little bit concerned because if you use regular geraniums, they don't continually bloom. So we'll have to see as the summer goes on how well the ivy geranium does. But it is looking gorgeous. It's giving me that European look. It's also just a huge pop of color. And this isn't a true red, it's more of a pinky with some red tones in it. I know the camera's picking it up probably as red. So this is a proven winter's geranium, but I really like how it grows tall and it plays well with the roses, the pink and the purple. Now the roses are just about done, and I just fed them this week for their second flush. Another thing that's really pretty is this tricolor salvia. Look how gorgeous the clematis is looking. Welcome to the raised bed garden. So it's progressing nice this summer. You can see I have a variety of different annuals and perennials. The English lavender is doing beautiful in the pots this year. Now, if you recall from last year, I tried Spanish lavender in these pots, and it did not do well, but the English lavender is doing fabulous. And I wanted something that would be low maintenance and drought tolerant. And so I think I've got a good mix, and the pollinators love that. Some pretty snapdragons coming in that'll look great in bouquets. Oh, and this really pretty dahlia, look at that. And I think this is just the showpiece this year with that verbena in it, and then the white spiller flower, just very pretty. This is the secret garden pathway next to the garden house, and from the cut flower garden to the back garden. Now the bird cage planter is filling in beautifully, and I just put a variety of annuals in there, pinks and purples and whites, but it's looking really nice. And these are all quick fire fab hydrangeas, And they're filling in, and they are actually, we've got one that just started to bloom here. So they start out this real pretty creamy white, they'll turn to pink and then raspberry, and look how much they are just loaded with blooms.